How will the coronavirus affect the way we design our homes? That's the subject of this video. The virus is here to stay. We have never been able to get it under control. And so what can we do? David here. As an architect, I've been thinking a lot about how our homes can respond to the situation that we're in. How can we change the way we design our homes in order to help protect us from the virus and to help us thrive during the shelter in place? So here's the situation. As of the recording date of this video, 140,000 people have died in the United States from the coronavirus. States are shutting down again as the virus runs rampant through our population. We are still in the first wave of infections. We never got it under control. The second wave could be even worse. It will be even worse. This fall and winter is going to be horrible. You have to remember that until late 2019, no human being had ever been exposed to this virus. It's entirely new. No human being has any immunity to this virus. The virus also mutates incredibly quickly. The virus as it exists today is already very different from the way it was when it emerged in Wuhan at the end of last year. Without a coordinated federal response, we have been at the mercy of 50 different states, thousands of different counties, hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of different cities as all the governors and county administrators and mayors have tried to come to grips with how to protect their citizens. We're all over the place. And people are still traveling from state to state and carrying the virus all over the place. And I know in the Bay Area, the 7 Bay Area counties had a coordinated response. Well, that coordinated response fell apart as soon as Sonoma and Napa decided they were going to open up again, and Santa Clara County was still being super conservative, and rightly so, because we're in a pandemic. So the medical world is working desperately to develop a vaccine. We don't have one yet. And even when we do have a vaccine, which could be possibly as early as the end of this year, but more likely to be in early to mid next year, how do you go about vaccinating 330 million Americans? That doesn't happen in a day. And there are people who won't get a vaccine either because for religious reasons, or because they don't believe in science, or because they think it's a conspiracy to control Americans, or because they remember the swine flu. If you are old enough to remember that in the middle 70s, the swine flu came through and they worked like mad to develop a vaccine as quickly as possible, and it had deadly side effects. So if you're like me, you're thinking, I'll wait for like the second or third generation of this vaccine before I get it injected, because I don't want to die from the vaccine. So that's where we are with the vaccine. We are going to be living with this virus for years. For years. And we need to think about how we respond architecturally to all of this, because this is the new normal. We're going to be wearing masks, staying 6 feet distant, staying home, having shelter-in-place quarantine orders as there are outbreaks of the flu here and there and left and right. This is our new normal. We have to stay home. If we go out, we have to wear a mask. We have to stay 6 feet distant. We have to wash our hands like we have OCD. And that's the reality. But our homes can help. If you are one of the lucky few who is wealthy enough to own a vacation home out in the countryside, one of the options that you have is to retreat to the country. And there's nothing wrong with that. We know that upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, they saw a significant uptick in people from Boston and New York and wherever big cities back east as they escaped to their country houses, their vacation homes earlier than normal because of the virus. And that's fine. We have a long history of rich people escaping to the country when there were illnesses. It happened in Rome when there were outbreaks of malaria and typhus in the cities. It happened in the Middle Ages. The Decameron, which is a collection of 10 stories that was written by Boccaccio, is just this. The aristocrats who have escaped to a castle, and they're trying to entertain themselves as they hang out with nothing to do by telling stories to one another. When there was another outbreak of the plague, Lord Byron and his wife, Mary Shelley, escaped to the Italian countryside, and he wrote poetry and she wrote Frankenstein. I haven't been that productive during the shelter in place, but you get the idea. Escaping to the country is a natural response if you have it. You want to be away from the population centers where the virus tends to be most worst, and it's an option for the rich. I predict that there will be an uptick in sales on vacation homes in the country. I think that architects who specialize in vacation homes will probably see a little uptick in business in the next couple of years as people kind of want to get away from the cities because of epidemics and pandemics. So that's a natural response. As for the rest of us, what can we do? Well, in the rest of this series, I'm going to talk about what we can do, about the importance of the front porch, about the importance of the back garden, about the importance of windows, about the importance of HEPA filters, and any number of other things that we can talk about that will affect the design of your home. If this video hasn't terrified you into retreating into your basement with all of your canned goods and a couple of flashlights, please, and you found it helpful, please do subscribe or watch more videos.